Hello and welcome. I have Chai here. Say hi, Chai. Say hello. I'm really excited for today's video because I'm going to share 10 plants that I am really excited to grow for this growing season. Several of these plants are new plants to me, but some of them I have had for a little bit and I'm just really excited for them for this year. So we're gonna jump straight into it here with our first plant, no particular order, and I really hope you enjoy. This is a Monstera deliciosa mint variegated. I do have my very first fenestrated leaf that grew in, and I got this plant around the very end of July, beginning of August, because this was my plant mail for my anniversary in August. So this was the plant that I was dreaming to have last year, and I got it as a little tissue culture. I got this from Jax's Jungle, and when I unboxed the plant on my channel, it was very tiny, super, super tiny. And during that time when I originally got it, it was just one little plantlet. But as you can see here in the front, this plant has grown in tons of little babies. It's kind of cool in a way. And I have this main vine here that is growing. And this is the very newest leaf here. It has four. It's kind of an elongated leaf too. These were more like round, I guess. And this is very long. It's very interesting how that shape is in a way. I don't know, it's kind of cool. I'm really excited to grow a Monstera Mint. I love Monstera, it's my favorite plant genus. Okay, buddy, come on. He's like sucking my arm. I love Monstera, it's my favorite plant genus, and I'm super excited to grow this one this year. It already gave me a fenestrated leaf, so I can only imagine the kind of growth that I'm going to get for this growing season. I am overdue for a repot. It is a little root bound in here. But it's okay. It's not urgent. I'll get it repotted here and get all those roots back into the pot. I have it currently in a 4-inch, and I'm just like upsizing slightly each time as it outgrows it because I don't want it to focus on the root system as much as the foliage, so I don't want to overwhelm it with too much soil. So I'm just going up a little bit at a time, and I probably will get this supported a little bit differently. I just have a clear acrylic stake in here for now, and I was actually thinking I might propagate this. I might, I don't know, because if it's growing well, I don't want to risk any shock to the plant to make this plant have a setback. The only thing that I was thinking is there's not really a way to take these babies out of here because they're connected into this main vine here, if that makes sense. It appears to be growing similar to a Thai in a way where the spacing seems to be pretty tight. I don't know if you can tell the internode spacing. So it has two main aerial roots here that have grown into the soil. So I was thinking about slicing and propagating like right here under those two aerial roots. And that way I'll have like this little bit of a section here that I could try and separate and propagate and grow some little baby separate plants. My only concern with it all being attached to the mother plant is that these are taking energy away from this, or it could just be taking energy away and putting it into growing these two. So I don't know what my plan is. I'm leaning more towards propagating it and repotting this top section and separating these out. So I haven't decided. I don't know if I will do that or not, or just let it grow the way that it is. But I'm super excited either way to have this plant, to grow this plant, and to see what this plant is gonna grow into. Definitely one of my top ones for me to grow for this growing season. Next up is this little cutie here. And for those that know me know that I love Maranta and Calathea. I love that plant genus as well. This is a Maranta light veins. Beautiful plant, beautiful leaves. Let me show you up close. Striking, look at that veining. Gorgeous, gorgeous Maranta. So beautiful. I actually got this as plant mail, and it came with flat mites, and I wasn't aware at the time, but really it just didn't really grow. It was in a soil mix, a substrate, and it just kept crisping and just didn't look happy. I don't know what was going on with it, but I decided to scan it and it had flat mites. I ended up spraying it like weekly and just kind of letting it hang out, do its thing, hoping it would bounce back, but it was kind of just stagnant. It wouldn't do anything. I feel like any new growth was just coming in weird, and I assumed probably it was just a flat mite issue. Maybe they just kept coming back on this plant. So I decided to behead my plant. I just took the scissors and just chopped it at the base, and I planted, this is what this is, the top section, into a thing of stratum. I still have the base and it has a new growth spike coming out, but the base, I didn't repot or anything. I'm just sitting it in a separate area. And if I do have something that grows in, which it looks like could be possible, then I'll have another plant of this. But I'm super excited either way to grow this plant. And I have a ton of new growth spikes coming in. Let me show you. Look at all that new growth coming in. And it's growing new shoots up already from the rhizome. It is very well rooted in here. I do have one Maranta, a lemon lime, living in Lechuza Pond, and it loves it, and it's doing so well. I put that plant into pond, I think 5 months ago. It was propagations, and I upsized it on my channel, and it has taken off. The rest of my Maranta are in a soil mix and they're doing fine, but because my lemon lime seems to really like semi-hydro, I feel like I want to do this one into Lechuza Pond as well. Once it grows a bit more in here, I am going to transfer it, but it seems to like living in stratum right now, and I don't want to disturb it because it's really starting to take off. So once I have kind of a healthy plant establishing and more of a defined root system, I will be transferring it to pond. But super excited to grow this Maranta this year. I have another Maranta that I'm excited about growing too, but it's currently in soil and it was plant mail as well, and it kind of had the same issue, and I feel like flat mites were on that one as well. So I may end up doing the same thing. I might behead it and stick it in stratum and kind of let it reestablish that way and then move it to pond. But yeah, I love Maranta and super excited to grow this one. This is an Anthurium Pallidiflorum, and these are two little babies that were gifted to me from kind followers who were so sweet because I had a bad plant mail package that came with my dream Pallidiflorum, and these were like replacement plants, and it was just so thoughtful, and I'm so appreciative. This is the smaller one, and this is the larger one. This is from Otaku Plants on Etsy, and this was from a sweet follower. This one is so cute. The smaller one just gave me a new leaf here. It's growing right here is the newest leaf. So beautiful. One of the original leaves did yellow off a bit, and then I'm kind of rehabbing this one a little bit. It got a little bent in shipping, so it hasn't yellowed all the way, so I'm hoping it makes it, but if not, I'll just kind of get rid of that leaf. And then it has this one, and then, like I said, this is the newest one. It's still in the original substrate that was shipped in, so I'm gonna leave it in here for a while, and it seems really happy, so it's super cute. I love how like cute and petite this one is. This one is absolutely gorgeous. This is a beautiful leaf. This one here is the newest one. This was post shipment. It was emerging during shipping, so it's a little bit smaller than the latest leaf here. But I can't wait until another one comes in, like actually in my environment. It has a spike right here, which could be a new leaf wanting to come in. But again, it's super happy. It is growing in a ton of new roots. This is the seller's mix that she has this plant in, and it's super happy in here. Again, I'm leaving it in her substrate, and yeah, I'm just going to enjoy watching these plants grow for me this growing season. I don't know if eventually I'll combine these down the road, but I kind of like having two separate plants. And I have them draped over top of my Ikea cabinet right now. So I love them so, 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 so much. So excited for them. I just think this is a beautiful Anthurium. It's probably my favorite Anthurium that I own right now, and I don't know what took me so long to get one. I really don't. I always wanted one, and I didn't know how much I would really love it until I actually like got it in my care, I guess. But I'm in love with this plant so much. I highly recommend. It seems really easygoing. I've watered them each a few times since I've gotten them like in shipment, and they're so happy. I love them so much. So yeah, super excited to grow these ones for this year, and thank you so much for gifting these to me, and I appreciate it. And yeah, I can't wait to share how they do for me. You can see the array of moss poles behind me, and a lot of those poles I've had growing on poles for a while, and I love them all, and I'm always excited to see the growth that I get continually throughout the year, and they mean so much to me. But a moss pole that I'm super excited to grow this year that I really hope starts to size up and does well is this one here. This is a Manjula Pothos, and it is gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Pothos are some of my favorite plants at because they're so easygoing. Like my Marble Queen and stuff on a moss pole is huge, my Jessiana, and I love them. And just such beautiful variegation. You can't beat how beautiful this plant is. Look at these leaves. Absolutely stunning plant. Super excited to grow this one. I recently did a whole chop situation with this plant. A lot of the bottom growth was still small and the top section was just starting to take off. So I made the decision to go ahead and chop it and kind of restart it in a way. So this is like the top growth from that old pole, and it's going to continue to climb. And once it reaches the top here, I'm going to extend it. I can extend it probably 3 more layers before I would have to need to chop it again before it gets too tall. But I'm super happy with the progress it's making. I have beautiful variegation on most of these leaves, and I currently have 3 vines in here that I kept. So ever since I did the whole chop situation, this is, I think, a leaf that was coming out during the chop, and this is the newest one. And this newest one already just seems, you know, to have sized up well. It's rooting very well into the pole. I did have a little bit of browning on some of these older leaves here. I think that was probably just the stress of I don't know, repotting and messing with the roots and all of that. And on the old pole, I underwatered it a lot, so I think that had something to do with it. I am watering through with silica now, so I am curious to see how the new growth comes in compared to maybe some of the older leaves. I just love this plant so much, and the bigger leaves are just something else. I love the small leaves too, trailing, but the bigger leaves are just so beautiful. I love growing plants to maturity. There's just something so special about it. So super excited for this one. I got a new Alocasia variety a few months ago or 2 months ago, and I have been obsessing ever since I got them. They are the same variety, but they're different forms, and I'm gonna show you them because they each have new leaves in my care, and gorgeous. I have no words to describe this Alocasia. I feel like I always butcher this plant name. This is a Alocasia Watsoniana. This is actually called white veins. It has beautiful veining. It kind of resembles an Alocasia poly in a way, but the sinus up here is closed and the veining is different. And this one here is a Watsoniana, but it's a dark form. Still with a closed sinus, and the veining, the leaf shape and everything looks a bit different. They have some of their original leaves they came with. Here is kind of drooping the original leaves. This one is pushing a new one, a second new one. But look at these new leaves in my care. That is crazy. I currently have them both in stratum. They came to me in little plugs. I got these both from the Green Escape, and the root system wasn't that well established, but I wanted to get them going in stratum first, and I'm going to be moving these to Lechuza Pond. I am growing all of my Alocasia in Lechuza Pond now because I did have issues with a lot in soil with fungal issues and stuff, and so I just prefer to grow them in pond now. I feel like it just helps me out with watering them with inconsistencies and everything. So a lot of my Alocasia are really taking off and really seem to love growing in pond. So I'm excited to grow them all, and I can't wait to move these over. I feel like I'll probably get these moved over maybe in the next month or so. This one is getting pretty rooted in here, and same with this one. So yeah, super excited for these. I just think it's such a beautiful alocasia. I love them so much. I originally got this one and then I didn't know there was different forms. And so I got this one and now I'm happy that I have both of them because it's hard to pick. It's really hard to pick between the two of them. Such a beautiful alocasia. I'm in love. This is probably one of my favorite alocasias that I have now in my collection other than my Michelitziana in the variegated. So yeah, I don't know what it is. I am looking forward to growing these out and for them to get more leaves. So yes, I have been obsessing over this plant ever since I got it. Up next on the list is another Anthurium, and this Anthurium is special because I grew this plant from seed. I pollinated two of my Anthuriums together. This is a cross between a Clarinervium and a Potato radiatum, and it hopefully will resemble the Delta Force when it matures more. I just transferred it to Lechuza Pond probably a couple weeks ago now, and it's given me some new growth, and it is beautiful. Look at that leaf. It already is kind of resembling the Delta Force. And it has another little leaf here that's coming in. Gorgeous. Such a beautiful Anthurium. I've seen like mature Delta Forces and they're just drool worthy. I love them so much. I have two little babies in here, and so since I only got 3 seeds, my other one is in my cabinet just in sphagnum moss. It's the runt out of the 3. I'm not sure why that one is so much smaller because they all had the same care and environment and everything. But these two are the ones that took off and that I'm keeping for myself. So the other one I may eventually get rid of. It's kind of hard because I don't really want to get rid of it yet because it's sentimental, and I kind of want to grow it out a bit more since it is so small, but I will probably look at getting rid of that one. But super excited to grow this one out. I can't wait to start getting more mature leaves. I did cross her again, my Clarinervium. She is pollinated with my Potato radiatum. It's probably going on 3-ish months, 4 months at most. And so it took a little over 10 months to get these. So probably in another 6-ish, 5-6 months, hopefully I can have some more berries. And once I do, I'll grow them out and sell them. So if you're hoping to have an Anthurium that resembles the Delta Force, stay tuned. Maybe it probably won't be this year, but next year I'll have them up on my site once I grow them out and everything. So if you are hoping to get your hands on one, she could surprise me and give me berries sooner, who knows, but I'm thinking it probably won't be until later this year. So yes, I love this Anthurium so much, and just it's so special because I just grew this one. So super excited about this one. I'm pretty sure we are on number 7 now, and number 7 is going to be Monstera Burl Marks Flame. It is a Monstera. There is a Philodendron Burl Marks Flame, but this is a Monstera, and it's doing so well. This started out as a little tissue culture. I did do the tissue culture acclimation on my channel in a video, so if you're curious about what I did to get this plant to grow for me, I will link it down in the description box. Any video mentions I'll link down there. And it gave me a new leaf pretty recently, which is this one here. Beautiful. I cannot wait to get fenestrations on this plant. I see these mature on Instagram all the time, and I just drool every time I see it. It's so beautiful. I did this on October 18th, so it's probably going on not quite 6 months since I first did the tissue culture. So in 6 months, I've gotten, I think, at least 4 leaves, which isn't bad for a little tissue culture. It has 2 of the original leaves here, and then one of them did yellow. But it's sizing up and doing so well. I have it in a soil mix. Well, I say soil mix, but it's soilless. I don't use soil anymore. I use an aeroid mix. And I have it in a little clear container. I just water these plants so they're a bit wet, but you can see it's rooting in there nicely. I just upsized it to this one, so it should be able to stay in here for a few months, and then once it outgrows it, I like to do slight upsizes. I like to only go up an inch or so at a time. I don't like to overwhelm the plant, but such a beautiful Monstera. Again, I love Monstera so much, so this was a wish list plant for me, and I'm super excited to grow this one out. Love, 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 love this plant so much. I had to change my battery, so if I look a little off to one side. We're on plant number 8, I believe. Yes, number 8. It is going to be this plant here. This is a ficus. I only have 2 ficus plants in my collection, but this one I feel like is going to be a favorite this summer because I love the color. This is a Ficus Shrivereana. Now, I have heard that there's like a moonshine version, but I always thought it was like the same plant. And I have 2 separate plants in here that I repotted together recently. One was in lower light conditions and one was in high light. So the one in lower light is more of a darker green. And now that I have it to more light, it should start giving me some brighter color. And this one over here was in my south window. So the leaves are very, very bright and vibrant. The one that was more bright and vibrant was a little plug that I got, and this one I got at my grocery store. So I have 2 vines in here, and it's so beautiful. I love the variegation. Oop, piece of orchid bark fell out, and the color and everything. I know I'm gonna be super excited to watch this one grow this summer. I'm gonna try and keep it in my south window as long as I can. Look at that. It's a gorgeous ficus. Yeah, I'm so happy that I have them both in here together now, and it can get really full and bushy and grow well. Hopefully now that this one is in more light, it'll start growing a bit better for me, this other vine. So very curious to see how this is gonna do for me and grow for me this summer, and I can't wait to see it get bigger. Next up is a little cutie propagation. Boing! This is a Philodendron Micans variegated. Look at that cute little leaf in there. Oh my goodness. Mine is like very pink tinged. I think it's the light that it's getting. That leaf is like a maroon color. It's very pretty. So this was an import over the summer and it reverted. And the imported leaves were pretty on it. It had some good genetics, but I ended up propagating it into 4 different pieces, and only 2 of the growths are coming in. Well, really, I only have 1 vine that's growing. The other vines haven't done anything yet. It's very slow. I don't know why. I don't know why it's taking so long. My regular Micans, I have on a pole back there, that one, and it takes off. It grows so fast. But this one is definitely very slow. I propagated this plant months ago, and it just gave me this little variegated leaf, and it has a new spike on the back side here. And this one doesn't have a new growth yet, and there's another like vine down here. So hopefully that one produces some growth. I do really want to see what this looks like before I get another one, but I am very tempted to get another one that's a healthier, more established plant that is going to grow and produce beautiful variegation. So I may eventually get another one this year and grow this one out, but this was like a wish list plant, and just a little disappointed that it reverted and it's taking so long to grow. I am very patient, so I don't have any problem just like sitting it and forgetting it and letting it do its thing, because you don't know, some of these plants will surprise you and just give you beautiful genetics, so I don't want to give up on it or anything, but I will be tempted to look at purchasing another one of these because I don't know how the variegation is going to be, like I said, and it could possibly revert. So I would rather buy another one that has like really great genes so that I'm kind of more likely to have that continue than to revert. So we'll see. I'll let you know though, but it probably won't be anytime soon because I really want to see what this one does for me this summer. Last but not least is a new little cutie that is probably my newest purchase. It is a Hoya, and it's a Hoya Polyneura Albomarginata, so it has the white margin. Look at her. It has these 2 new leaves it just gave me here on the end. It just pushed those out. I have been wanting this plant for so long. I have a regular Polyneura and I love it, and it's grown so much. It started this size here, And I just cannot wait for this one to grow more. I got this from the Planted Mama on Etsy, and I adore her and her shop. So happy I discovered it, and she is such a sweet person. And yeah, this is a beautiful Hoya. I cannot wait. I just think it's so beautiful. Like, this leaf here is to die for. Right here. Look at that. So pretty. It's such a pretty plant. But I cannot wait for this one to grow for me. Super excited about this little guy, and yeah, I love him so much. So that is it. Those are the 10 plants that I just cannot wait to grow out this growing season. And a lot of them are newer plants, so I think the excitement that they're still new is there, and ones that I just am looking forward to just seeing how they do for me. So I cannot wait. I love all of my plants, and I'm excited for all my plants to grow more, but I think these ones are ones that I'm going to be keeping a little bit of a closer eye on, I guess. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed, and I will talk to you here soon.